Three, two, one. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Smokes. Welcome back to SmokesWorld. Give me the dap. Blah! Hey, man, today we back at it with another podcast with my co-host, Brother Jake.
Yo, hey, this is going to be a real good one. This ain't no rapper right here. We on some serious ass shit.
Yeah, this is actually our first episode that's with he's not a rapper, so that's pretty cool, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Tryann, Tryann, Tryann Stevenson. You know, so like trying to ride a bike.
Don't try him, bro. Don't
trying
try
to say
him.
my name, So just glad to be on this show, and I'm honored. I'm honored that you have me.
Man,
on here.
I'm real happy
to
that
have you here.
Yeah, man.
That's even bigger.
You know, we got an MMA fighter / activist.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Out of Odessa, Texas.
Yep. Well, you got a grappler. You got a grappler
Oh,
getting ready to train and do MMA, and a man of the people out there for the people in Odessa and
he said he know
and
how
the
to
world.
grab the situation. He said I know how to grab every situation.
I know how to take you down, put you down, and put you in place. You know what I mean? You will hear what I say.
Awesome. Let's get right into it, man. Where were you born and raised at?
I was born in Odessa, Texas. So I was born in Odessa, had a good part of my childhood in Duncanville, Texas, and then came back.
Where's Duncanville?
Duncanville is in the Dallas metro area.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Duncanville Panthers, you know, they played there. It's a amazing high school program there.
I actually heard about Duncanville today.
Yeah.
On the stream.
Yeah, amazing. It's amazing. It's an amazing town. So I love it. I loved it being there as a kid.
So when did you start? How old are you?
I'm old, man. I'm 32.
Oh. Shit, I'm 33.
Yeah.
You ain't know.
Yeah.
He's 31.
Yeah.
31, 32, 33.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's
God
just
damn,
it's
we got
just
it all in order.
it's just
yeah.
a way of life. It's a way of life.
So how long have you been doing mixed martial arts?
Well, training and everything, I would say, well, what is it? It's 2020. I would go off and on like back in 2010, and then I didn't start taking it serious until 2015, 2016 when I just rolled up into the gym, and I was like, Des, I want to do this, and he's like, all right. So I've just been training, grinding, and training.
Des,
so,
who's Des?
Desmond Hill. He's the owner of Rough House MMA and Fitness. So he's my head coach. He instills in everything of what to do. So if you wanted to do it like Des would be the CEO, his wife Crystal would be the CFO, and then I'd be the president of the company. You know what I mean?
That's cool, man.
I got some pull, but they got the main say. You know what
pull.
I mean? Yeah. So I got a little bit of pull, but
That's exciting.
I always joke with Des whenever he's not there, and I tell like my teammates from what's the movie? I'm the captain now. You know, when we line up, I'm like, look at me. But it's just an inside joke and everything like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to everything. Shout out to Frankie, who I look up to as well. So he's the OG.
Rough House.
Rough House
Odessa,
MMA and
Texas.
Fitness in Odessa, Texas. RUFFHOUSE.
Are they currently taking people in the train like anybody?
Yeah, we're taking in the training. We have a huge women's fitness class. It's not just MMA. We have a legit grappling program. We have a legit jiu-jitsu program, wrestling program. We have a kids jiu-jitsu and wrestling program.
Bigger question. Do y'all have any way of teaching kids that would be autistic?
Yes, I can't tell you how many kids not saying everyone has autism, but no kid is the same, just like every person is. There's some kids
it's because my daughter has a form of autism, and I do want her to learn some form of way of defend herself.
Definitely. We have kids. It doesn't matter. Every kid is different. I mean, it could be from one kid being short to one kid having autism to one kid who is deaf. We have all types of
That's dope to hear.
That's where I've learned like a bunch of patience. I've learned a bunch of patience. We deal with all types of kids.
What's the beginning age range?
The beginning age range 5. 4 maybe, but 5.
Start training that soon?
But
That's
5
awesome.
My daughter's 5, but I'd probably wait another year.
That must
or 2.
I coach a little league baseball team.
Yeah.
And I coached since my boys were about 4 or 5 years old. And is it kind of difficult to train like little kids like that?
Not really, because they're having fun.
It was hard for me to coach little 5-year-olds.
It depends. So, like, the thing is like, Dez is, like, we do good cop, bad cop. So, Dez is the bad cop, and I'm the good cop. You know, sometimes, and then I've had to...
We got Reno
And
911.
then, so I started getting...
You gotta do what you gotta do to handle them kids, man.
Like, some of the kids actually know that, like, I was being too nice, and Dez was like, man, you too easy on them kids. And I was like, all right. Because one kid was like, my heart is hurting. I was like, Dez... What did the kid, Jeremiah's feeling like this, and then he said, Jeremiah, come here, and he's like, you okay? He's like, yeah. He's like, get on that wall, and then I was like, man,
He
my
was
bad.
messing with you.
No, he wasn't. He just felt real
overreacted.
bad. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm freaking out, But Des, like, man, get it. So I've learned to like not fall for the okie doke with the kids. Yeah, but it's fun. I
Kids
love
will
it.
fool you.
Yes.
They're brilliant, intelligent motherfuckers, dude.
It's because, like I said, I don't have any kids, so like with any youth, who's either friends of mine who have kids, their kids, my little cousins, or just the kids around. I'm either like a big brother, a father figure, or like a cool uncle. So that's actually had me kind of ready for fatherhood. But like I said, that can wait.
They're gonna call Tryann Sensei.
Yeah.
And
But no,
also you have no kids.
No kids.
Dude, I got 4 kids.
No kids. Congrats. That's
I got
awesome,
6.
I
man.
got 3 boys, 1 girl.
Six.
My brother, I have
6 kids.
Like I told you, my brother, he has black belt in a couple things. He's gonna train most of my kids, but my daughter, she has something like autism.
Yeah.
We haven't really got it fully figured out of what she has, so I can't label it, but it's something like autism. So
Definitely.
It's like, I do want her to learn self-defense, but I never thought about that, and that's why I wanted to ask you that question.
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like if you know me or you have me on Facebook, I'm always showing us when we're at tournaments. I'm always showing us when we're practicing. I'm either recording video, parents' permission, of course, and like if I put it up, just man, you'll never guess what Jesus did today, and Jesus is only like
That's
8
dope.
years old, taking on like a
10-year-old.
10-year-old.
People, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't no coach of nothing like y'all, except I have formed like coach people in music.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true, man. He's a very good coach.
yeah.
Man, this dude right here is a freaking beast, man. Bro, everybody, y'all know Brother Jake, my regular viewers. This dude's a beast right here, and he's very good at coaching how to he'll make you a way better rapper, bro.
That's
This guy
good.
right here.
That's good. That's awesome.
I know it could be frustrating at times trying to like explain something to somebody because everybody's brain interprets things in different ways. So sometimes it's just how you say it to people for them to understand. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
So you're like like an executive producer, like how like, hey man, you need
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
go with this.
You can
Where
say that.
you're not necessarily writing the whole thing out for him, but you're like,
Yeah.
you can either do it like this, or you could do it like this. Kind of like how Puff did Biggie, where he wanted Machine Gun Funk as his single, but then Puff was all like, man, but if you get this song, this is gonna definitely make you a superstar. He's like, this song is hot, but this one will put you on.
One of the biggest. That's why I was telling you earlier. Like one of the biggest things when you were talking about percussion and all that, it was like you knew how to count bars.
Yes.
And that's one of the biggest. That's why I told you that's one of the biggest things. A lot of people that start rapping don't know how to do is count bars.
Yes.
And it's like one of the hardest things to teach them because you're like you could teach them 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4 and you can show them the rhythm.
Yes.
But trying to explain how music has different BPMs per second.
Exactly.
So something might have like a or something might be like so like that's a whole different tempo. So like they don't know how to count them bars because they're at a different time speed.
It's all about timing, and then like people don't understand like your voice is an instrument as well. Like it just,
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
What I mean, like your hands are anything that can just make some sort of sound that can be an instrument. Like it doesn't have to be a trombone.
That's why I respect like old school like boom bap style hip hop.
Shout out Genius.
Because the beat was so simple.
Yeah.
And so what you were really listening to was the rapper's words, man.
Yeah.
And that was like a more. Now it's all about the beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know a beat maker from here. His name's Genius. Well, he's not from here, but I met him here. And he's been here for quite a bit, so I say he's from here because I've always thought of him from here. But anyway, his name's Genius. And a lot of beats he makes, he does play piano very well, but a lot of beats I've actually seen him like get shoes and clap them together on the microphone, simple shit.
Yeah.
Like he actually grabs nature and life, like his environment, and makes sounds out of those.
That's dope. There's no one way to record. There's no one way to produce. There's no one
right
way to
do it.
rap. It's all in how you do it.
Yep.
And I think now's a different time in terms of music as a whole. But like with like hip hop, when I say hip hop, I don't view it as like a type of like rap style. Hip hop to me is like the culture, the community. But in terms of like rap, you're seeing now that you don't need a record label, you don't need all this fancy stuff. Like, I mean, you might want to get something mastered like later on down the road, but I mean, just a set, as long as you get a good setup and have a decent laptop, you're in that thing. You know what I'm saying? And you can
it's all social media now.
Yeah. You could stop training for 2 years and go get a fight, and because you ain't been training, you're not in shape for this. It's the same thing with music. They have to keep repetitive. You got to be repetitive what you do. Same thing with the content. You know what I'm saying? It kind of like if you started fighting, you wouldn't want to space out your fights once a year or once every 2 years.
Yeah, like if I wouldn't be able to do jiu-jitsu tournaments like I do. This whole COVID situation has messed up my training schedule. So I mean, I just feeling it now in training where I'm just like, man, because you can be in shape, but you know you have to like work your actual craft, and you know what I mean.
You got to be consistent.
And that's how I am with like percussion. Like I mean, I used to, man, I can't tell you like just all these 16ths and just paradiddles, flamadillos, but just coming up with a bunch of stuff on my snare drum, and then with my practice pad, and just I remember just a few.
So how long have you been doing that?
I'd say since I was a kid.
Oh really?
Like since I was a kid, but like I was taught by my cousin, but I learned it my own way, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
So like I tried out for band. I didn't make it initially because like all the other kids there were like they kind of took it a little bit more serious, and like they could only pick 6 and I got 7th. And then I always played it and did it, you know, so I just always kept up with it, and I learned my style. I learned how to like write and read from my cousin, and then I just had books and I would just study. You know what I mean? So it's like I have this own different way, and you know, so I just love music, and like, I mean, since we're talking about music, I don't want to get off topic on this, but I used to think I was crazy as a kid, and then like, cause when I would hear certain music notes, I would see like colors or shapes. I thought it was crazy, and I remember like I heard like F sharp. I can't remember, or what, it was a chord or something, and I was like orange. And
I've heard of that.
Somebody's like, "What?"
Like intelligent kids, like they see music like that and like colors and stuff like that.
It's called synesthesia. So pretty much like you associate your other senses with like hearing and things like some people have it where they hear something, they get like hot or cold. You know, some people get a different taste in their mouth. Like I've looked it up.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Like I thought it was crazy. I'd be like, that's
crazy.
pink and green, and then I would look, because me and my mom listened to a lot of Earth, Wind and Fire, and I think it was Fantasy by Earth, Wind and Fire. I was like, you see all that pink and green? And she's like, huh? And like the sun was setting, she's like, no, it's still blue out there. And I was just like,
that's crazy.
No, it's pink. And then she's like, no. And I was like, she's like, and we went to the eye doctor and everything.
It's kind of like that dress thing. You know what I'm saying? How it's like,
yeah,
blue
people
dress
or
white dress or whatever. Like,
dude, I swear to God, it was white and gold, dude. Hey, but if you get the phone and you like tilt it, and then it looks wherever the other colors were. We're like that.
I saw white and gold.
I saw white
and then with the shoes, I saw like lime green and gray.
I don't remember the shoes, but every time, me and my wife always see different colors every time.
Yeah,
and like,
but that is tripped out though.
People were arguing with me.
People were fighting. People were fighting like crazy on social media over that, dude.
Bro,
like they're literally like making death threats.
Where's this? I was like, no, it's. Nah.
Hey, so what was it like for you to grow up in Odessa, Texas? And a little bit
growing up in Odessa, Texas, like I said, when I was a kid, I remember the house that we grew up in. I remember all that, and I remember my neighbors. My neighbors had like one neighbor. It's just old lady, old sweet lady, so sweet. And then my neighbor to the right, they had like ducks and stuff. I mean, we were inside city limits, but it wasn't just crazy. They had like little chicks and stuff, and then next door they had ducks and stuff too. It was cool. We were the only black family on the block, but you know, so me and my mom moved to Duncanville, and then like I said, she's done a lot, so we never lived like on the opposite side or the bad side of town. Middle class, 2 degrees, went to Grambling, you know, so grew up grew up in that area in that duplex, and like I said, I was living among, you see people, black people, like, no, they're not black. Those are Nigerians, and then those people from Zimbabwe, and then those are just Asian people. There's Japanese, Koreans, and Chinese.
That's dope.
People.
Like it's a whole bunch of cultures in your neighborhood,
Mixed.
bro.
Bro,
And
That
literally
is dope, bro.
There,
I wonder how the cookouts were.
Yeah, it was good.
Little bit of this, little bit
being
of that.
they would have some, and we tried and everything like that. So it was pretty dope. But like I said, and I mean, there were people from Britain and everywhere. So, like I said, that was just normal to me. I didn't know any different until we came back to Odessa, and then that's where I saw
Odessa.
the division.
Everybody knows how Middle Odessa. There's
like,
a bunch of far right people here.
Yeah, there's.
Because I moved to Arlington, I seen that when Metroplex, how it was. I was like tripped out because they have down here, they only have like 2 or 3 different types of churches, bro. Down there in the Metroplex area,
all kinds.
They got Buddhist church, all kinds of stuff, bro. Like
huge churches too.
Yeah, boy.
Huge. Yeah, it was different. It was definitely different. I was the only black kid on the block. I had Hispanic and white friends, but the majority. No, I take that back. There was a black family that was there, but then they moved after a year or two, and so the rest of that time, I was pretty much the only brother within like a half-mile radius, man.
Dude,
even
crazy.
a mile. Yeah, because I'd ride my bike.
How was that like for you?
I mean, it was cool. It was cool. Like I said, I'd go see my black friends and stuff, but it would be a journey. Like, I would have to go to the South to see the majority of my black friends. But it's just the demographics. It's like little sprinkles of pepper instead of just everything mixed together. And I'm not trying to make it black and white, but I'm just saying, like, if you want to see, like, you'll see a little here, a little there if you were just a sprinkling instead of just a whole mix of just all sorts of people. So it's definitely different. I mean, my mom came back, because the majority of our family was here, and it was cool. I don't regret anything, but she always said, I wonder what it. Sometimes I wish, we never came back. Nothing bad, but it's just. But then I'm like, hey, the way life has came so far, I'm cool with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
It is what it is. So what was your what church what religion did you grow up with?
I grew up, well, under the Christian banner, but Baptist, Southern Black Baptist, because I live in Texas. So, but yeah, it was that, which I had no problem. I had no problem with it, but as growing up, being a teenager and just growing into things, I kind of started seeing mass religion, organized religion, just the huge mega stuff.
Yes.
I was that. To me, that doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, Joel Osteen, he can talk. He's a good motivator. TD Jakes, awesome. But it's just that, like, I just would not want to go to a church like that. Like, it's like I'm at a Super Bowl,
Cinematic.
and I can't even, like, I'm just looking at a screen. I'm not even able to see the preacher. So. And it's like, man, like...
That's why small churches... I mean, when I was a Christian, I was part of it wasn't a small church, but it wasn't a big church.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that I did like. I did enjoy. Because it's more of a family and close friend type of deal, you know what I mean?
Definitely. But, and then the thing is, like, pastors are like, you can come talk to me if you need me to. So you telling me, Joel Osteen, if I'm having a bad day and I need to talk to you, I'm just gonna be able to come down from the rafters. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's kind of where I see it. And I'm not hating. Like he can like they're very good in delivering the word.
Yeah,
but it's just like
they're motivational speakers.
It's like can I talk to you? Like if I need the word, can I talk to you? Or I'm gonna have to. I'm not saying he has this, but people come up all the time. Oh, so I gotta subscribe to a premium website just to hear
Just to
something.
get- yeah,
you
just
know,
get a couple
so
prayers.
it's kind of like so
That's what I do not fuck with right there, bro.
I don't knock it. I don't knock it. Because
Can't knock the hustle. It's a hustle.
True. And like I said, but that's just my own viewpoints. Like I wanna,
It's like that saying, "Home is where the heart is."
Yes.
You can be spiritual at your house. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then
There's a difference. I'm bad.
You
There's a
good?
difference between being religious and being spiritual.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And so that's where I find, like, I don't just denounce, I'm not going to church and blah blah blah. But no, like, if my mom comes into town or if I go out of town to go see her, we'll go on Sunday, and like I'm not just sitting there with my arms full of, no, like I go, and like I used to be heavier into church, but I haven't denounced my faith, and I haven't denounced. I'll just say this: you two can believe whatever you want to believe, but like, I'm not gonna necessarily let you bash my faith, even though I'm not too much into it. So like, I'm not gonna let you say something like just crazy, but then again, you can voice your opinion on something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I said,
would you say sometimes you question your religion? Is that where you're at right now, baby?
I don't question my religion. I question the people who have kept up with the text and who deliver the religion and the imagery of religion, because I can tell you this: the description of Jesus in the Bible isn't the same description of the man that I see in a stained glass window at the church that I go to. So sometimes I'll sit in church, and then every time I look at that, I just look. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like that, it doesn't make any sense.
Like I think he didn't. People weren't saying he was white until like hundreds of years after the Bible was actually written.
I just feel religion.
They made him white along the line.
Is made to be factions. There's 4,000 and something religions. They're all basically factions. I'm just a child of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to say I'm of a religion, and I don't knock people for it if they feel that way, but just my point of view, the way I felt it, I've always felt religions were like factions. It's like they're like, okay, you got the Baptists, you got the Christianities, you got the Catholics.
But in that whole, with Christianity though, that's where like you got like Pentecostal, Baptist, Catholics. It all falls under Christianity.
It all falls under Christianity.
At the same time, it comes down to like what you were saying. Like if you go and actually, you can get any Bible, especially the King James one. You can go look, and it'll tell you the description of Jesus, and it does not match the description that they portray him as, because it's not. And if he was a white man living at that place that they were from, they would have knew, because he would have stood out like a sore thumb. He would have been the only man that was that bright.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense.
Doesn't.
Exactly, like hair like lamb's wool and bronze skin. That's not the exact quote, but pretty much that's
hair
what.
like wool. Yeah.
Yes.
With
with
skin
wool.
like burnt bronze.
Yeah, like
with
so.
eyes like fire.
So I'm just like, come on, like, cause when I look at them, I just like it irritates me. I'm just like, come on, like this doesn't. That's when I see that, it irritates me, because like I'm like, that gives people ammunition against Christianities. I mean, not Christianity, but against Christians and Christianity, because I mean, if you're in a debate and like you can use that, well, people take the word into their own hand and then twist and manipulate. No, they don't. Well, then look at the text in the Bible, and then look at these pictures.
And
so that's what kills me. That's what it kills me.
And it just comes, people don't read it the same. That's why the Bible is a mystery itself, because one person can read it and get a whole different idea, and you could read that same thing and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People could get two different ideas from some of the things said in the Bible, and that's where it comes from, you know what I'm saying? But that specific saying, no, like, that's obvious.
Do you know who the Israelites are?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about them?
With everything that's going on,
the 12 tribes of Judah.
do you mean like do you mean like the people who are actually in Israel right now?
The Black Hebrews.
Oh, okay. Oh, the Black Hebrew Israelites.
Yeah.
The Black Hebrew. Now, I don't know I can't speak on them exactly, but I mean, I remember seeing them on Jerry Springer. I remember because it was
you seen the fucked up version of
no,
them.
no. I'm not saying anything bad, but I remember,
Uh,
Jerry Springer's a circus, so I remember it was one like the Klan versus the Black Hebrew Israel, just ridiculous. But no,
it's
I've
very
seen,
interesting.
I've seen their stuff.
They
and how
believe the original Hebrews were from Africa.
well with the slaves,
And they believe Jesus was black.
Exactly. I mean, who built the pyramids? The Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And then like they were slaves, and it's just it's so much to get into. That's why I want to get into. That's why I want to start looking at theology a little bit more, like studying the Bible.
Okay, you want to start? This guy. His name is Brother Polite. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah. He's always on the Breakfast Club. Yeah, Brother Polite. Yeah.
Okay, but Breakfast Club is just one little.
No, that's
segment.
just a small segment of what he talks about.
This man, dude, he's fucking intelligent, bro.
Really intelligent.
He's intelligent. He believes the black woman is God. And the way he breaks that down is it's pretty freaking interesting, man.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man. This dude's intelligent, and I think you should actually hit him up because he's very non-biased. I mean, he's he doesn't attack religions, but he'll tell you
question.
He'll question.
Yeah.
He'll tell you why he doesn't think it's right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, the fact of you said that like he thinks that God is a black woman, like it was something like Common had this. I was roaming around.
Common the rapper?
Yes, he was like, I was roaming around and in my mind it occurred, what if God was a her? And he was like putting that more in a sense of like how he has a daughter and how just think with women. I remember I quoted that once on Facebook, and I mean I was, what do you mean, blah 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 blah? I was like, no, just look at it like I was talking about more about his wordplay, and then I was like, look more into the lyrics. But I'm telling you, if you talk about religion, I don't care, any religion on the book, and you don't make it 15 paragraphs, and you just say something, trust me, everybody's going to come for you. Either for you or against you, or even you just lay your opinion. Like, Facebook is getting wild right now, so that's why
people feel like they're judges. And
I'm
shit.
close. I'm so close to just. If it wasn't for keeping up with the Rough House page and my friends who don't live in here, like I would be gone. And then plus networking and helping out with like a bunch of other things with the community.
I'm a very opinionated person, like I have to say what's on my chest, and that's the only reason I have social media.
Yeah.
Because I want people to know what the fuck I think. You know what I mean?
I hate social media, and the only reason I really use it is for my music and. Keep
my music. Yeah.
I hate it. I would not. I don't. I like talking to people. I don't like texting. I fucking hate texting.
I like talking.
I like talking.
I just feel like, why the fuck do I need to send you 20 fucking messages and when I could just like call you and like take 30 seconds of my life and be like, bet I got that.
That is true. He calls me a lot, and I'm like, just text me, motherfucker.
Texting you don't convey like all like you can't convey tone. Like you can say something. It's like
it's
like
arguments can happen out of thin air, bro.
Like that Key and Peele sketch where like he would like text anything. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be there, and he's like, oh, you're gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, I'm just having a good day. A good day. So that's why it's always best to talk, especially
so you
during
can hear the tone and the mood,
especially during the climate that's going on right now with like religion, politics.
Everybody's on edge right now, bro. Yeah, man.
Everything's so on edge.
I could be like telling somebody something nicely, and like they're just like, "You're attacking me," and I'm like, "No, I was just trying to give you a better point of view on life."
All right, bro. I got another question for you: Trump or Biden? Or where you going? Another way.
Trump or Biden? I don't.
Neither one.
I don't feel. It's the lesser of two evils.
Exactly.
To me, more, it's like a flip of a coin, and then I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, is there anybody truly, like, I think that, listen, people are like, man, these Republicans and blah blah blah, man, it's the Democrats.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, if there was there are Republicans, there are conservatives and liberals who are for the people. Yeah. They're just not out there because they don't have the backing like all these other people do.
What people see is the mainstream version of the Republican Party and Democratic Party.
Yeah, like
that's what the masses see.
Like and then it just turns into a circus, and it throws me off. And coming close to election year, like now, everybody's beefing on some stuff, abortion, whatever policies are here, religion, or stuff with police, all types of stuff, you know, and what's right and what's wrong. Well, I think this is this way, so you got to think like this way. Who are you telling us? You know, it's
instead of people dialoguing, they're attacking each other.
Yes, instead of just talking. I got
people can learn to just shut the fuck up, calm down a little bit. Let's talk about this right. You know what I mean? When people start doing that, that's when we're gonna start moving forward.
Building.
When we start understanding,
when people start
building. That's what I like. I told brother
that's
Jake
a
before.
big thing that's always stuck with me. This fool fucking taught me, and like, not an argument, because
we've done this several times.
You could debate with somebody, like let's say a best friend, Dragon Ball Z versus Goku.
Yeah.
People could argue about that and get heated and then still be best friends, and that's
of course.
But almost like that same scenario where it's like you don't really get angry at each other, but y'all do kind of get loud. It's building. It's when y'all see each other's point of views and try to come down to a
understanding.
That's what I like to call it. So I like it's not a combo. We're building.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And the thing
building
is,
each other up.
And the thing is, something I learned, and I'm not trying to throw I went to college, blah blah blah, but what I learned from Dr. William Harlow.
I'm an educated motherfucker.
Shout out to Dr. William Harlow. Like it's not that he didn't like me. He just always saw me when I'd be bullshitting. I'd be like, hey man, I got that. He's like, you can't bullshit or bullshit. I remember he said that once. I was like, dang, he got me. He's like, you're good, but you're not as good as me. I remember that. But there's this class called Argument and Persuasion. So pretty much it was debate class, and he would get things that were hot at the moment.
Oh my god!
And then so but the thing is like you're like, oh man, I'm gonna body this group, especially if he gives me this topic. And then so he could be like, hey Tryann, you have this topic. I'm like, yes. I said, I'm about to kill it, And then he's like, but you're gonna be opposing this. You know what I'm saying? So he would make you. He would kind of get a sense of like who you were in class, and like he wasn't judging, but just based off of him just analyzing people and getting like surveys we would do in class, and then he would do it to where
you're debating yourself.
Example like pro-choice or pro-life. He would like have the people who would speak more on their Christianity and for a grade you had to bring your great points up, even though you hated it. You had to research it, and you had to you had to put your position on there.
I respect the fuck out.
So it was really dope. It's really dope because I remember I was like, man, this is whack, man. And then like I was just like, no. And then but that's how you learn more. And then like we had to research. It wasn't just going to Fox News or CNN. Like we had to research.
Bro, you made me feel like a genius without having to go to school.
Yeah. No, it was amazing.
I do that. I told my wife. I've actually told him. There's only been 2 people in this world that I've ever fucking told that, and it would be him and my wife. I argue with them on purpose, even when they're right, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because
he's done that a lot of times. I think he likes to troll, actually.
Yeah. No, and it's crazy. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I learned it from video games. Video games. When you play a game, and you're going.
You told me this before.
When you're going against people. The game I play, Smite, you got to know all these different gods' moves. You got 90 gods. You got to know what all these dudes do. They all do something different.
Yeah.
So the only way you can know how to be better in beating them is be them.
Exactly.
You learn how to be them, then you learn what really crucially hurts them.
Yeah.
Bars.
What doesn't.
Yeah.
So, and I've applied that into life.
Yeah.
So I argue with him and my wife on and then they're on perfect. They're on a good subject. They're right. They're right as fuck. But I'm going to argue with them.
Why?
Because I want him to show me valid points of the situation so I can even understand the situation more, so I can further progress myself.
Definitely.
Fuck
so
you, bars.
Say that, bro. I'm like, oh my god, I already do this.
Yeah. Like it was. I remember one debate where like, and then plus it gets heated. Like people get into their feelings, but that's where with the debate, like you can't get into your feelings. So I remember once like I had a good point,
when you get mad, you lose.
And then this she was so cool. I forgot her name though. She was awesome. We always had a good conversation in class, but she did something where she was like, she had her rebuttal, and I had got done talking, and everyone was like, yeah, you got her. I was like, hell yeah. And then so I was like, yeah, this is in the bag. And then they had like a 1-minute rebuttal, and so she started speaking. I was like, oh, she has some good points. And then she said, well, blah, 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 blah. And she quoted me, and then she looked at me, Tryann. And then she said that, and then she hit me with like a counterattack, blah, 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 blah. And then like, so like, I was like, she got me. And then I remember like, I was all like, Dr. Harlow was like, all right, well, blah 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 blah, and then he gave it to the opposing team, and I was like, man, I pulled a Kanye. I was like, no. I said, listen, the reason why blah 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 was because. This, and Dr. Harlow was trying. I was like, no. I said, I'm going to finish. He's like, Mr. Stevens. Like, all right, man. But that's the thing about, like, I learned so much from him. Like, I respect him. He might not, he probably didn't. He knows that I respect him and I've learned a lot. But, like, it's just how he would show
Shout out
it.
to him.
But, yeah, shout out to Dr. Harlow. But, yeah, he's a good man. He's a good dude. And, like, I would highly recommend people learn how to debate. With argument and persuasion.
I've been doing that lately. I've been watching YouTube videos do the shitload, bro.
I really feel you should take what he just said because I've told you this once, and you find even more valid points.
Because how long do we have before we stop, or we can just keep talking right now?
Let's take a break.
Okay.
I don't know why the fuck I just did that, bro.
I feel your energy in life, man.
Thank you so much.
I really do.
Thank you, brother.
I feel your vibe. Your energy is positive. I feel you as a very positive person.
I'm positive, man. It's definitely, you have to stay positive. It's not like you just wake up and positive. Honestly, it's a mindset that you have to make sure you keep having. And
Mike's gave me that instinct. He's always had like a feel on people when he meets you. He has like
who?
Mike, Ice Mike.
Ice Mike.
He has he calls it like a chi.
Yeah.
Like as if he could see your energy, you know what I'm saying? And he could feel when people are like going towards like a dark way, positive way, you know what I'm saying? And
definitely.
I don't know, it's just like you can feel people's energy, bro.
Yeah.
And vibe with that shit, you know what I'm saying? You got real positive energy.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah. Yes. What do you think about the Confederate flags and the Confederate the statues and all that?
Here we go. Here we go.
What do you think?
Round one.
They should be fuck.
Yeah.
Do you think they should be taken down? And look, people are saying, do not mess with history.
What do you
feel about that?
So here's what's up. The Confederate flag, I don't mess with it. I'll tell you this. So how I learned about the Confederate flag, I learned about that when I was like probably 5 or 6. This was in Duncanville when I was joining like Cub Scouts. And they were like, pick a flag, and draw it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I saw like the Confederate flag, and because I was looking at, like I said, I loved reading books, everything. I just loved history. And so I would.
Me too, man.
I had this one book, just flags of all around the world, and then flags of U.S. history, and then so I saw the rebel flag. I just saw the stars, like, man, that's pretty cool. And I was like, oh wait, that's on that car on that old show that always comes on. And then my mom was like, yeah, the Dukes of Hazzard. I was like, yeah, that's just really old though. And then so she's like, no, let's not pick that one. I was like, all right. So like, right to the next page, it was the actual stars and bars, like another Confederate flag, like before the one that's way more positive. And my mom actually, we sat down and had a history lesson, and that's when I never liked messing with. That's when I was just like, I really don't like the Confederate flag, because we literally had like that's dope how we just had a fluid conversation which turned into a history lesson. And so I don't like the Confederate flag. I see it, but it just doesn't make any sense.
So what do you say
me.
to the people who like keep the statues up because it's history?
I keep the statues up. Nah, that doesn't make any sense.
It's like
here's what bothers me about it all. People want to complain about the flags being taken down in history, these statues, but like, didn't they take the natives and burn all their history and force them to learn Spanish, and now their language is basically banished from this earth? Natives don't even have fucking their actual language. Yeah. They speak European language now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that's my whole thing. You burnt all the native history, claimed it as your own, and now you're gonna complain about a flag and a statue?
Most white people who are saying this, their ancestors were Europeans.
That shit exactly taken down.
In
my opinion.
It's like, of course, we know the history. The history is in books. You read a goddamn book. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But then again, history has been misconstrued also. Facts. There was some book like a few years ago where like they were saying that slaves were like, no, they were calling slaves indentured servants, or they were like, well, slaves volunteered to come to America. No,
Yeah.
no,
Facts.
no, no, no,
Facts.
no, no.
They went to
BS.
West Africa.
Yeah.
Took them during the
Now,
transatlantic.
now
slave trade.
the thing that gets me is like, okay, the statues, all right, take them down. Take them down, but like, is there a museum within a certain area where you take all these, take the statues down, but just don't glorify somebody who was against the Union, which is now the United States of America? That makes zero sense. That's what blows my mind. It's like, these people weren't for the betterment of the United States of America as it is now. They were the Confederates. They were rebels. They didn't give a damn. You know what I mean? So just take it down, but let's still. But here's what's up. I want to know about these generals. I want to learn about these generals. Like, how were they as generals? How were they as leaders? This and that. Yes, I want to learn about that. But you know how I always found out about stuff like that as a kid. Like, my mom was like, you need to go to the library. You need to research. But then again, that stuff wasn't even taught to me in school. I was always researching stuff, and then there'd be sometimes in class where I would say something to the teacher, and she'd be like, huh? And it wasn't like I was schooling her, but she was like, that's what I was like, but you're a teacher. You're supposed to know this.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
but then that's when I realized
Teachers
that,
teach
like,
what they learn by the textbook.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
most.
Or I wouldn't even say that. It's just the guidelines that they have to follow.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, they have a bigger syllabus from the freaking school district. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so that's what blows my mind. Because I remember even, like, kids would be like, yeah, man, I remember back in the day, you'd always ask the teacher something when we were on a subject, but it would be a part of the subject, but it would be something more. And then, like, the teacher would be like, well, that's an interesting question. Or I would have teachers be like,
That's
I looked it
dope.
up afterwards, you know. And like I said, it's like, I want to know the history of these Confederate generals and whatever, blah blah blah, these platoons.
Yeah.
But like,
But no matter what,
it shouldn't be glorified.
Should be glorified. The statues should not be glorified. Those statues are out there. The big old freaking statues, dude. It's like these Confederate people who still say that the South will rise again, motherfuckers. They go to the statue and they worship the goddamn statue. You know what I mean? They're worshiping fucking idols.
I mean,
and shit.
isn't that treason? You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
you can't, you know, could be. But like, I'm just like, like, I'm like, why are you glorifying something like that? Like, I mean, people, like, I'm like, this is a war that people died for this country, and like, and people are all like, well, they don't say green lives, but you know, they'll have green, the U.S. flag with green, or just, you know, I support vets. I'm like, well, you're disrespecting those vets that died who fought for the Union, doing that bullshit. Well, it's Southern pride. Regardless, though, that is the ultimate like, people want to talk about being patriotic. That's not patriotic at all. I'm sorry, it's not.
Opposite, bro.
You know what I
South
mean?
lost.
Hit him with the fact.
Like, hit him with
bars.
And like, people, well, you know, some rappers using it. Blah, blah. I remember like Andre 3000 and Miss Jackson had like that belt buckle, and I was like, I mean, he's from the deep South, so they have a different.
Some white kids shoot up schools, and you don't say you're them. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't say you're them. Like, so I mean, you can't just, you know what I mean?
Or the thing with the Dukes of Hazzard when they were like, take it off the. Now, I didn't say it. Like when the take the Dukes of Hazzard out, I'm like, you don't necessarily have to, but like, I see why some people would want it, but like, I don't look at the Dukes of Hazzard and think that is a racist show. But I kind of question your thought. And I'm not necessarily going to call a person who has the rebel flag up a racist, but I will be like, you're ignorant because you're not. To me, if somebody were to call me ignorant, that just to demean my intellect, that's bad. And like, when I think somebody's ignorant, that's terrible because you haven't studied, you don't know what that flag represents. Don't just say it's heritage and culture. No, it's terrible. Like, it's just research it. Just research it. Yeah. Both sides, not all rebels are bad people. Like, the South versus the North. I'm like, well, it's the United States of America, not the Confederate States of the Confederacy. Or, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah.
Oh, that's great. I like the valid point.
You know what people would like don't understand? That it's only been a little bit past a century since we had slavery. It's only been about 140
Well, let me tell you.
It was just like yesterday, bro.
So you had 400 years of slavery. So say what? So everything was like Juneteenth and everything. How, you know, the Emancipation Proclamation, everything went in order. So you got 1863. So you had 2.5 years into that, and it was to June 19th. So when, you know, a general came in and was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, 2
you
years
know, and
later.
then like,
And
then,
that
like,
was 1865.
yeah, in 1865, and it's like, what's going down here in Texas? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, y'all didn't get the memo? What memo? You know what I mean? Like, so that is so disrespectful to
2 years,
just
2 years later, right?
Just to human beings in general. So you got 1865. So, flash forward, blah 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 blah. You got World War One. Still, there were black people still serving. I'm just doing it more in times of like war, so we get the times. And so you got World War One, where like black people still were treated like shit. World War Two, so the 40s, still like shit.
And the Cold War.
You got that, the Korean War leading up, Vietnam War, blah 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 blah. So we'll stop with that Vietnam, the whole the mid to late 60s. So you had several like civil rights acts. Like there was one in like 64 and in 60, some things in 64 and in 68, some stuff in 68. Yeah. So okay, we'll stop there. Boom. So that is 68 was 50. That was what 52 years ago. 52 years ago, 52. Right? So bam, you got that.
Something like that.
So we still got like parents that are alive right now who lived
went through this shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Jim Crow era, bro.
Yeah. So like my mom was born in 60. So you know what I'm saying? So I mean, she grew up in segregation, and so segregation, blah blah blah, 60s, 70s, blah blah blah. But still, well, the voting the fair voting, in 64, I believe, and then everything like that. I'm sorry, I'm twisting my words up here, but it just gets me fired up and heated. It's still fresh, bro.
Yeah. It's still fresh. It just happened.
Black people haven't had this centuries of just wealth distribution to like make it into this world right now, and that's kind of what I think is bullshit. You know what I mean? Because Odessa, I think Permian wasn't desegregated until like 1980. It was in the 80s. I think it was the early 80s. So it's just like, man, that's just so disrespectful. Like people still have people don't see, especially that like the people from the South. That's why I view it as fucked up, because fucked up shit has still been happening to black people, and then the people who love that flag and support it have been the people that the public always focus on have been the racist, ignorant, prejudiced motherfuckers, and not these people who are like, well, in the South, it's just heritage. So when I see that, before all this fucking big social media and all this stuff, even seeing that as a child, it was always racist people who had that flag, and that's why I don't mess with the flag. You know what I mean? I see that like
and they say slavery is history. You didn't go through slavery. Like that's in the past. We're not prejudiced anymore. But this shit's still happening today. People are young black guys are getting murdered on the streets by white cops and shit. You know what I mean? These are
Europeans
it's still
are the
happening.
only people to genocide themselves.
And then so like when you said the whole thing with the cops, it's definitely a
round two.
That's yeah. That's definitely a slippery slope right there, man. Because I see both sides of it. There are some fucked up people on the force, no lie. There are some dudes who just get a hard on, who get a hard on beating up people, innocent people in the street, and because they can't get a hard on with their wife at home. You know what I mean? I'm not saying but that's just anybody who has a power struggle, not just cops.
My cousin's in YPD, and she actually posted some stuff about how she's been pulled over and treated like shit her goddamn self, because she's way, I'm Mexican and Italian, but like all my family down here, they Mexican. My cousins, they went down there in New York and shit, and I got a cousin that's in NYPD, and she'll even tell you herself, like, it's not right the way that they treat.
It's corrupt and crooked. At NYPD is so, like, when you had that PR guy, this badge is stained. I'm like, dude, the NYPD is so corrupt. Like, when I say corrupt, I'm not saying all, but there needs to be work. And then, do we need to stop or do we have plenty of time? Okay, so here's what's up. Here's since we're talking about police, all this BS that has happened. There's been so many people getting killed for fucking less things, minuscule things that I just can't keep up with it anymore. Like the whole Philando Castile situation still upsets me. You know, that was, he got shot and he was licensed to carry and went for his wallet, and then he was like, "Oh, you're pulling out the gun." He's like, "Dude, you shot me," you know, and he died in his girlfriend's arms. You know, he was dying in his girlfriend's arms. It's sad, but like, you know, people see those images and then they don't trust the cops. I don't trust all cops, but I understand that they signed up for that job for the well-being of civilians. So I can understand that, but it sucks that too many of the wrong ones have been caught, you know, for people to be like, well, it's not everybody. I'm like, cool. So if it's not everybody, we need more thing instead of just cops sticking up for other cops and be like, hey, that's wrong. And people are like, defund the police. I don't think you should defund the police. There needs to be reform.
That's what I'm about to ask
there
you.
There needs to be reform. So however much money you're putting into that, please tell me that schools are getting that, or just as much as that, the same amount, because like crime and violence ties all into education in school and outlets for like these kids, and like, I mean, shitty schools, you're gonna get shitty.
You want to hear?
You're not gonna
statistics?
Get the best teachers.
Do you know how much school training and training people have to go through to become a nurse? I think it's up to like 2 years, and they have to do over 600 hours or something. I was reading something up on that today, and NYPD only has to have 6 months worth of training. They have to have 6 months of learning how to do paperwork, to do paperwork, handle the court systems, all that other stuff, on top of learning to handle their firearm, know when to make the right decision. They have 6 months.
6 months, and you got people's lives in your hands.
Yeah, you got 6 months of training before you get on the job.
It's like I said, it's
that's not that much training.
It's not a lot of training, because pretty much to be an officer, you're a cop, you're a social worker, you're a therapist, you're a psychiatrist. You know what I mean? On top of being somebody who has to keep the peace, like, they have stressful jobs.
Yes.
Trust me, they do. And I have friends and family who are cops, so like, I can't be like, man, fuck 12, because if I say
fuck the police,
but if I say fuck the police, I think about this, like, I want to be literal with
things. Feel you though, but
if I'm saying fuck the police, like, I'm like, man, like, fuck that. Whatever happened to these cops they get, I can't do that because I got family that's on the force. I can't do that because I got some people I would cut for on the force.
This is where I see it as fuck the police. I didn't say fuck all police officers. I just said fuck the institution that it is.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not really saying fuck the police officers.
Yeah.
I'm saying fuck the police.
The system. Yeah. But then again, like,
because they're letting these fucked up police officers come into their system.
Yeah, which I understand. I do. And I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just that general statement, I can relate to that, because I won't even say just because of my race. It's just because I understand the hip-hop culture, and I understand like what happened in that area for NWA to make that song. But if you got somebody from the Midwest, or from Florida, from Tampa, you know, just or Montana, and then they hear, fuck the police. Fuck the police. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna understand like where that's coming from and how like the harassment. No. Yeah. Which I understand that point, but like that's the thing. It's like there's no understanding. Like people aren't gonna understand,
and that's
it
where
takes
the
people
problem
talking.
with humanity is people act on instinct instead of trying to understand the situation that they're in. They're just like, he's talking shit. Let's handle this. Or like they just handle instinct instead of trying to be like, well, where are you coming from with this? Like, what is your meaning? Like, what are you meaning? Because I could say like how I said fuck the police, and you're like, well, yeah. But when I broke it down the way I'm really meaning it, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different thing, and I understand how that is misconstruing to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So like I said, it's like I don't have a problem, but I can't be like that, because there were 2 protests. The one that I took part of was the second one, and then the first one, which was more of a march, you know, it was beautiful seeing that first one, because I wasn't going to take part of it. I was just down there making sure everything was all right with Rough House.
So there was a protest in Odessa, Texas. It was actually the second one that you had.
It was the second one that pretty much I joined a group of like-minded individuals. Just it had nothing to do with political affiliations. It was just, how do we address these issues that are happening, you know, with injustice in the community around the United States of America? And it's called In Defense of Black Lives. It's headed by, it's I can't just say that there's one leader, but I mean it is in the sense of like Gavin has helped direct us. Gavin Norris, he's a lawyer, an amazing man. But it was a culmination of everybody just coming together, literally forming like the Ultra Megazord, man. Like everybody coming together. I like everything. No, seriously, there wasn't.
I'm a Power Ranger.
Yeah, there wasn't any like. I'm telling you, like there wasn't just like one thing. It was like King Ghidorah, like times 50.
Everybody was working as one.
Yeah, everybody
So
was
how long
working
have you
as
been a group? When did it start?
Pretty much in June 3rd. June 3rd.
With everything going on.
Everything going on, like yes, like it was really spearheaded by an idea from this girl named Ashley about wanting a protest, and then a bunch of us just linked together, and then we formed something together. And that march that happened, we didn't know about that first initial march that Sunday, and it was like I was hesitant because it was just, we're meeting here, blah, 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 blah. They got in contact with the city, but nobody really knew who was throwing it. But it was by these 17-year-olds, this kid named Dominique. And I'm sorry that I forgot her name, the co-creator of this. And they had such a beautiful, it was just a beautiful event. It was more of a march. It was just marching up and down Grant to the police station, to 8th Street, back to the police station. That happened for about 2.5, 3 hours. It was amazing. Nothing bad happened. There was a couple of guys talking mess, like some bikers revving their engines and stuff. I had to calm down a few kids, but these were like
I saw a couple guys with shotguns on their back.
Yeah, there was a little militia of guys down there on 8th Street. I mean, not on 8th Street, on Grant.
Say anything, though.
They didn't do anything. Like it was just cool. They were like, we're just here to keep the peace. I was like, all right, cool. Which the peace was there. Like there wasn't anybody there. There were the only people who weren't keeping the peace were the people who were opposing that. And it was that one guy who started flipping everybody off and then tried to run over everybody. And then it was the motorcycle club, biker group. I don't know. I think they were 1%ers. I don't know what.
Somebody tried to run over people.
What?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It wasn't the bikers. It wasn't the bikers. But it was it was like some SUV. And then the only time when that people were getting mad because they went to these armed security because they thought they were cops, but just because they had guns and stuff, and they're like, you didn't see that SUV trying to, and so they kind of got mad because armed security was like, they were like, we can't do anything, and they thought they were cops. And so me and then like Dez, the head coach, and then his wife Crystal, we were actually out there marching. Like we left Rough House and marched with them. We stood as a barrier to those armed security guards and then to the people who were like just mad because they just saw a badge and a gun, and I guess they thought that they were cops.
The second?
No, this is the first one.
Okay.
This was
I was like, I was there. I don't remember none of that.
Nothing happened on that. That was the only slip up on the first one, and then and then a motorcycle gang was there revving their engines. Okay. They were just trying to instigate stuff, and there was like a bunch of young 20-year-olds who were getting pissed and were like, man, I was like, man, they're not the problem. Like, what we're seeing on TV is the problem, what we're here for. But just flash forward to 2 days later, whenever 2 or 3 days later, whenever we did our thing, we literally had everything done in 2 days, but it wasn't 48 hours, because you got to sleep. Literally, we came up with that huge rally from City Hall all the way to the Odessa Police Department in like 36 hours.
And people
literally
showed up.
People showed up.
You even had the chief of police speak, right?
Yes, we had Chief Gerke speak. He's an awesome man. Like, there are a lot of places. There are even smaller towns than Odessa where you can't even get the chief of police to talk. And I
was tripped out when I saw him because I got there right when he was talking.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? This guy's actually talking to these people.
And he
you have any questions? Ask me questions. And there was actually a couple of people that were in the crowd. Like, I think they're angry and they just wanted to say something, but like he was actually speaking very well.
Yes.
And people were like, but you need to do more. But he just actually
he actually engaged the people. That's what's awesome about Chief Gerke is like I've actually sat down, talked to him on the phone, emailed him. That it's all in the approach of like how you want to get things done. And I think that the reason why Odessa went so well that second time, the one with the In Defense of Black Lives, it's because it was organized. The first one was good as well. I'm not taking anything away from Dominique, but how we organized that first one, we will not get into it with anybody. It will be peaceful. We will not engage. If the only thing that we do, we will lock hands and we will say justice.
What do you feel about the people who say that that's not working anymore.
It is working. To me, that protest is working. The protest is working. I understand people's rage, which nothing bad happened. Let me get back to this.
Okay.
Our protest. I'm sorry, but
That's fine.
it was just phenomenal. We had Chief Gerke talk. We had somebody from City Council talk. We had people in the community talk. I went up there and was hyping everybody up. It was awesome. I wasn't trying to throw
I
me
saw
in
you
there.
up there, man. You had your shades on.
Yeah,
You were like,
man, and then that one picture of me behind Chief Gerke, honestly, it was hot, and then I was just scanning the area because I was handing out water to the people in the crowd.
You look like a head of security for
yeah,
the
no,
movement.
but there was that one picture was there.
And he was posted.
But to me, more like people were like, "Are you dogging him?" I was like, "No, he's a good man. He's a good man." But when people say that protests are working, because protests are working and showing that we can be peaceful, we can protest.
No. What I meant about peaceful protests.
Peaceful protest. To me, they work. To me, that shows that you can get things done.
What do you
now? Oh, what did you say?
Go ahead. Finish.
Okay,
this.
but to me, a peaceful protest. To me, I'd rather have a peaceful protest any day, because the people who want things to go to hell, that pray for things to go to shit so that things can't happen, I won't give them the satisfaction. And that's not going to happen, because there's way more peaceful protests going on than all this stuff that you see on CNN.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The media's making it to be that way. You know what I mean? They're focusing on the, both sides of the news. You know what I mean? The Republicans are showing the bad, the worst they can show. They're showing protesters looting, and they're showing them burning down buildings. But what they don't know, there's actually a lot, just like the one in Odessa. We had how much people? How much people that we had up there? Would you think?
I'd say 500, if not more.
It was strong.
It was a lot. It was a lot. And
500 people together, being peaceful. Yeah. That's an amazing thing, bro.
And it was, and some of these people, I'm not gonna put their names out there, but I was texting people. People were worried about what would their job think. I had a teacher that was out there, and she was kind of hesitant on the fence, but I was just like, just show up. I said, I can't be on my phone because I'm about to be talking and this and that and da da da. But I said, if you can make it come, you will see me. And then she and her friend made it out there, and we had a talk for about 10 minutes. She's like, I'm so glad I came. There's all demographics. It wasn't just white. It wasn't just Mexican. I don't want to say Mexican. It wasn't Hispanic.
No, Mexican's better, because Hispanic is from Europe.
Oh, well,
yes.
Mexican Americans. You know what I mean?
I like to be called Mexican American or
a lot of Mexicans do not like to be called Hispanic, because Hispanic comes from Spain, which is in Europe, and that's the people that tortured the indigenous people and forced
the same thing about Latinos.
See, there we go. We're learning. We're learning. We're learning. I'm learning terminology. Different types of terminology. So that's awesome.
What do you say to people who say we need to burn things down? We need to burn down the police department. We need to fuck these cars up. We need to fucking.
It's not gonna get nothing done.
Facts.
It's not gonna get nothing done. Chuck D on Welcome to the Terror Dome said, "What you do is get your head ready instead of getting physically sweaty. You gotta kill it with your mind, and what you can come up with your mind instead of just raging all the time." Now, don't get me wrong. When I see all this stuff, I get so pissed. I just want to just snap. But that instant gratification that's not gonna bring somebody back from the dead. Solver. You know what I mean? You can let that rage out, but you just can't keep tearing up stuff. And people who do that, they don't have the true cause. Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization. Blah 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 blah. Look at this. Or if Black Lives Matter, then why is this? I'm like, do you not understand that there are people who are there who just want to? There are people who want to peacefully protest. They were there. There are people there who are fed up and they want to just riot. And then there are people there who just don't have shit to do with any cause, and they want
the adrenaline rush.
Fuck it, we're damaging stuff. We're doing that. People spray painting BLM. And then you can be any ethnicity, race, and join that. But you got people who are just doing that and damaging stuff just to do it. And then you have peaceful protesters.
There's certain groups.
Peaceful protesters who are stopping at it what are you here for? What's the cause? Blah 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 blah. And then these people are like, well, I don't have to explain myself. I'm like, no, you're just here just to cause shit. And that's the problem, is the media is focusing on all the negative. You got these Facebook heroes that are focusing on all the negative. I can't tell you how many people were just this protest is gonna be blah 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 blah, and I just let the actions do their talking. on that, and they did, and then they couldn't say anything. And I remember this one dude. I want to call his ass out, but no.
This is
SmokesWorld.
Who is it, man?
This
is
Smoke.
Call his ass out, man. Hey, I'm about to call some people out in a minute.
He's a business owner, and he just said something. Well, none of these guys have the IQ above 34, but he's just a shitty individual.
I want you to listen to this real quick.
Yeah.
The reason why buildings are burning is because this city, this state, would prefer preserving that white nationalism and that white supremacist mindset over arresting, charging, and helping to convict 4 officers who killed a black man. That is the reality of what we're dealing with. This is not just a few cops doing things across the country. This is not a good cop versus bad cop situation. This is Ahmaud Arbery being shot down by white men on the streets of Georgia. Breonna Taylor being killed in her home. This is in New York City, where we were until freedom. We were just in New York fighting the police officers who, in the name of social distancing, were damn near killing black young people on our streets. This is a coordinated activity happening across this nation. And so we are in a state of emergency. Black people are dying in a state of emergency. We cannot look at this as an isolated incident. The reason why buildings are burning are not just for our brother George Floyd. They're burning down because people here in Minnesota are saying to people in New York, to people in California, to people in Memphis, to people all across this nation, enough is enough. And we are not responsible for the mental illness that has been inflicted upon our people by the American government, institutions, and those people who are in positions of power. I don't give a damn if they burn down Target. Because Target should be on the streets with us, calling for the justice that our people deserve. Where was AutoZone at the time when Philando Castile was shot in a car, which is what they actually represent? Where were they? So if you are not coming to the people's defense, then don't challenge us when young people and other people who are frustrated and instigated by the people you pay. You are paying instigators to be among our people out there throwing rocks, breaking windows, and burning down buildings. And so young people are responding to that. They are enraged, and there's an easy way to stop it. Arrest the cops. Charge the cops. Charge all the cops. Not just some of them, not just here in Minneapolis. Charge them in every city across America where our people are being murdered. Charge them everywhere. That's the bottom line. Charge the cops. Do your job. Do what you say this country is supposed to be about, the land of the free for all. It has not been free for black people, and we are tired. Don't talk to us about looting. Y'all are the looters. America has looted black people. America looted the Native Americans when they first came here. So looting is what you do. We learned it from you. We learned violence from you. We learned violence from you. The violence was what we learned from you. So if you want us to do better, then damn it, you do better.
So what's your reaction from that little video you just saw?
My reaction to that video is every emotion that she had, I felt it, and I definitely understand it. And like I said earlier, it's not like, oh, well, you know, you got all this desegregation, blah, 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 blah. No, it's so much stuff that has happened over time, and, like, you expect a certain group of people to overcome that when, like, things are still messed up for everybody. So I do agree with her. And she says, arrest the cops. I know what she's saying, but, you know, you'll have somebody who's, like, not for it and be like, well, what do you mean you can't arrest all cops? No, hold accountable the cops who have messed up. Hold these cops accountable. Like, we see it. Like, we saw a man take his last breath like literally on the internet. Like we saw somebody die.
See it happen.
You know, and it's weird because like it hurt, but like it's like I was kind of like I'm not shocked, and that's sad that like we've gotten to the point where it's like not shocking, but it still infuriates you to like why somebody did that. But I understand. Everybody should be held accountable. Nobody has that get out of jail free card. No politicians, cops, civilians. Everybody should be held accountable to their actions. And that's what they want. They want those 4 cops to be held accountable for what they did, because there's been too many times where cops have pretty much killed someone and got off with it. And now this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I'm serious. Like, it's sad.
Have you ever had a run-in with a police officer in a bad way?
Yeah, I've had it. I've had it all the terms of like the first bad one was like I was like 16 or 17, and I said shotgun, and my friend was like, "No, I got shotgun," and so we started running to the truck, and then we ran there, and then he was bigger than me, so he pushed me, you know, just with his hip, you know. And I was like, "Oh man!" And then we're all laughing, we get in the truck, ha ha ha. The next thing you know, I'm like, "Who is that running?" Freeze! It was a cop and his partner. Get the fuck out the truck!
What?
And I'm like, what the? And this is at the mall.
How old are you?
It was daylight. I was like 16 or 17.
Okay.
Get the fuck out the truck! I was like, oh, get out now! I was like, and then my friend was like, sir, this is our car and this and that, and obviously we were afraid. So I thought y'all were fighting. I was like, bro, and like when we got off, I was like, man, you know damn well we weren't fighting, because if there was a fight, like somebody would either be bloody, punched out, but you saw us get in the cab of the truck, and it was like a 4-door Chevy, and you know we were all laughing, ha ha ha, and then next thing you know, I look, I said, so it's like, you know, who knows?
Two kids horse playing.
Yeah, and it was
He
4
pulled
of
out
us.
his gun. Did he pull out his gun?
He had his no. One had the taser and then one had the pepper spray, which I still...
What the
but
fuck?
I remember him... I was all like, whoa! Because it was yellow. And I was just like, what the... You know what I mean? And of course, you don't know what's going on. So, like, I'm all moving and stuff. And I'm like, huh. But you don't know in that situation. Because, like, I didn't need cops in that situation. And for that to happen, that freaked me out. But in terms of... I've just had more asshole cops like that, but like I've been pulled over for just BS reasons. No, you didn't signal, or you didn't stop, or you rolled through it. You know what I mean? But then they started thinking it's like you're good. But I've had friends like from like Houston and Mississippi who have gone through like way worse. And it happens, but I'm fortunate that like I didn't grow up on the bad side of town. But my mother always had that talk with me of like what to do if you get pulled over by a cop. You know, so
She had that talk with you.
yeah, I had that talk ever since I was like, as I was 6, but I was saying as I got older, it you know, matured more. But I remember like I wanted to be a cop when I was little, living in Dallas, because we always went to like black rodeos and stuff like that, and then we'd always be downtown and we see like mounted cops and they like let me pet the horses. But I wanted to be a mounted police officer. And I remember once I was like 6 and I called 911 because I loved cops so much and I wanted to be a cop. And like I called 911 and the operator was all like, hello. And then I just like hung up and I was like, hey, a cop will come. And so like the cop came, but like, yeah, it wasn't anything bad. Like, you know, and my mom was like, what'd you do? I was like, I called the cop. She's like, for what? And I was like, oh, I just wanted to see one. And then so like I remember like my mom called 911 back, but the cop was already on his way. And like we just sat on our steps, and then he came and he's like, well, you know, Tryann, I know that you like, you know, I'll have my badge and stuff too. Like I had like a little toy badge.
Oh, that is so dope, bro.
But like I said, it's like I've always respected cops, but it's just like we always see the ones who don't respect the people, and I understand that like cops can be used to oppress people. But we're in a different time where I truly feel that like there are more cops coming out who are more for the people, and they'll call out all the bullshit. But things aren't still just as clear, because there's some fucking evil motherfuckers at every job.
That's what I said. Should we hold people accountable for the ones that who are seeing these things happen, and like locker room talk? You know what I mean?
Yeah, report that shit. I don't care if it's like the boys club or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm, it's not, I don't want to use myself in this situation, but if you got two people who have a profession. I'm not saying they necessarily have to be cops. And then one's joking around like, yeah, man, and joking about sexual assault. And like, yeah, well, I kind of did my thing when this girl was passed out. When this girl who I don't know was passed out drunk, would you just be like, oh, okay, well, it's just the locker room? Or would you be like, no, fuck that. That's some bullshit.
Wrong, yeah.
Like, somebody needs to find out. You could call me a snitch, but if I'm a cop and I see some shit like that happen,
that's how a lot of police agencies
do that.
handle themselves. They handle themselves like their brotherhoods when they signed up for citizens.
They act like a gang. While
they're supposed to help us. They work for us. You know what I mean?
And I have another friend that's a cop. Shout out to Jordan. And like he doesn't just say stuff just to BS. Like he's been like, I've had to call out people for their bullshit or that they're shitty people. And then like the shitty people wash out or they don't use it as a career. They're like, fuck it, I'll do something else. But yeah, like that locker room talk needs to go. You know what I mean? I think it's bullshit. And then, call somebody out on that shit. But, like...
Because what if it's a guy that everybody thinks, like, in the locker room, they're like, well, he's just playing around, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a joke that he hates young black men, you know what I mean? He just fucking all around until he murders one and shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that as a joke. Well, he always said that, but I didn't think he would. No, well, then you're accountable for your actions, too. Well, he always joked around about it. And then, but it'd be like, like we taught you in training.
Yeah. By handling that situation and taking that badge and gun from that
exactly.
man. So he couldn't have been in a predicament where that man would have got shot. And that's why I feel commissioners need to be held up too, because these motherfuckers are the ones that are, why aren't they arrested? Well, because you got courts and all that. These motherfuckers need to be arrested. Oh, they don't want to arrest these cops. Arrest the judge. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's such a tough. It's a like I said. I just see both sides of the coin. Like cops need to be held accountable, but then there are actually some cops out there trying to do the thing.
No,
and then there's another thing. It's like, man, so it's late at night. You pull it. This car does something where you have to do your job, so you got to pull the car over. So either it's gonna be somebody who is just trying to get home, blah blah blah, blah, or it's somebody who is just. It is not the right one to pull over and some bullshit. So the cop can't just approach it either, or he has to approach that situation on guard. So, like, I definitely do feel for them. But I think that where we're going with reform and the whole defunding shit. Don't defund the cop. Like, we're taking the money away and then, you're going to have to cut this or blah, blah, blah. No, keep that spending where it's at.
So people are proposing, like, let the community police itself.
No, that ain't gonna work.
Not just that.
We do need law and order.
They don't need to defund them. What we need to be forced to happen is use that money to more utilize how these cops are being observed and give them more training.
Give them more training.
Mental training, bro.
They need to have like
they need
psychologists
mental.
and shit.
Yeah.
Observing these people training. Like,
I was having a conversation with an officer this week, and we talked about that, and I was all like, yeah, it like cool, like you got this badass armored vehicle that can drop you a fucking house, but at the end of the day, like the city doesn't need to pay for officers to go see a psychiatrist to be fit in. No, there needs to be an on-hand therapist for cops. They have that in the military. Why not have it for the people who are policing our streets? That's that. You know what I'm saying? It's. If people want to defund, no, we need reform. There needs to be things to help me help you, and then let's move together. Cause it's always them, and they and I. It should be us, we.
Fact.
You know what I mean? And that's what it is.
Hey, do y'all have a school in Odessa that has like a high school that's named after a Confederate soldier?
No, I know Midland
like
does.
Yes,
Yeah.
Robert E. Lee. What do you think about that?
To me, it's foolish. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, Robert E. Lee was not just he was a gracious general and, in the history of the South, people try and just cover up and make the South seem so, South Carolina, blah, 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 the Dixie, blah. No, this was somebody who was against what the United States came to be. So why are we honoring him? You won't see that stuff on the East Coast. You're not going to see that stuff on the West Coast. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's all that southern, southeast, and, southwest. More Texas, that's the most southwest.
It's the racist southern heritage.
It's ignorance. It's because racism is learned. You're not born a racist. Same thing with being prejudiced. Now, ignorance, you can fucking get yourself out of that hole with ignorance. Like, you're choosing not. When you realize, I might be racist and you don't want to do nothing about it, then that's just ignorant. But you can fix ignorant. I mean, you know that you need to fix the ignorant. That's the part that can just be fixed like that. But it's you have to want to. You gotta want it.
That's true.
Doyle Woodall. He has resigned. I'm gonna put some fireworks, some applauses right there. He said he was on the ECISD.
He's on the
school board.
ECISD school board. Yeah, he shared some. Pretty much, he just shared some personal views of his, which just does not flow. Like I honestly feel that like people don't understand the things about like hang them higher. We need to bring back this old stuff of how to get things done. When I think of nooses, I think of two things. The Wild West, back when they would hang horse thieves, and you see it in movies, and then the other stuff, making a lesson out of that rebellious slave, or just lynchings that happened to black people well on in the 30s and still happens to this day.
Yes, it does still.
Yeah,
he attacked religions. He attacked races. His Facebook page looks like a white nationalist fucking page, bro. It's fucking disgusting and shit. And the fact that they didn't fire his ass though, and he resigned, they should have fired his ass right when they seen his shit. They should have kicked him off the goddamn school board a long time ago, bro. He has shit on there that went back fucking months and months, bro.
And then another thing with that is there were things about it's just a bunch of insensitive things. He's like, well, I'm not that bad, and I got these people. Now. I'm like, yeah, but you're leading. You're a part of the factor that determines what our kids. What kids? I don't have any kids, but what the kids in that school system will learn, and that's not good. That's not good at all. It's terrible. So I mean. No, nobody's gonna be. I'm not trying to use white as just a race, but nobody's literally white as in perfect. Everybody has faults. Everybody has their own viewpoints of things, but you got to be smart on the shit you share. Of course, that stuff's gonna get out, and that just was insensitive. That wasn't I'm triggered. No, that was just some bullshit, and no.
I already got on that. I was just writing it down so I didn't forget.
But that's a major victory, though, bro. I mean, it's not. But I wish the school board would have fired his ass. That would have been better. But he resigned, and he was trying to say on social media that he was gonna resign anyways.
It was
bullshit.
It was super petty. It was the most petty
bullshit. You resigned,
and then he was
forced, I think.
He was like, "I'm gonna resign," and then he was like, "But that's not saying I'm not gonna run again when the chair's up again." I was like, "See, dude, So I was like, "Come on,
y'all ain't gonna let that happen, right?"
No. Can't.
What's it called again? In defense
of Black lives.
Okay.
That's pretty much the order.
Doyle Woodall, they'll be at your motherfucking door, bro.
No. It won't just be us. It'll just be more everybody of the community.
Yes, sir.
And just voicing, just being displeased with everything. But that's another thing. Since with that, in defense of Black lives, I hate when people say this. Black lives matter, man. Well, you don't talk about black on black crime. Or blah, blah, blah. Or only with a white copy. I'm like, no.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was getting to that.
You don't see that. You see that on TV. You don't hear about all the other aspects. We have educators in our group. We have all races in our group. All types of demographics. At our rally, we had two people who were involved with ECISD talk and list things that are affecting minority children different than it is for others, and then it just hit on so many factors. It wasn't just about police brutality. It wasn't about some unarmed men being killed or treated unfairly. It's more than that. And when somebody says, well, it's only I'm like, no. And then I'm like, okay, so the media runs with it. But where were you at when I'm always talking about, inner city crime and how it's affecting the general area? So if you got a bunch of black people around each other, of course it's going to happen. When there's no white people there, of course it's going to be that. You have a bunch of what? And I would say, what about white on white crime? Because I know that's way higher. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm just like, but you don't hear me when you give a bullshit rebuttal like that. Like you're not thinking up here. So I'll give you one slide. Like I'll let you have one strike. But like after that, I can't deal with just the ignorance. Like people get so frustrated and mad. Facebook has let me see people for who they are. I've been shocked I've been shocked and let down by a bunch of people, and then the people who I've been shocked and uplifted by and just like, wow, that's awesome, are people who I never would have thought.
So what's your like your goal with in defense of Black lives? Like how far y'all willing to take it?
As far as to infinity and beyond.
Man.
You were trying to grab the biggest one. He was like,
I like that. That's Buzz Lightyear,
like
bro.
I don't want to say like the stratosphere because I'm still like on Earth in a sense. But no, like as long as I'm physically here, I want to carry it because like it's more than just saying Black Lives Matter. This is in defense of Black lives, and then we're not just focused just because that word's in there. It's just there's a cause with it, but we're bigger than just that cause. Like this is helping out the community, helping out the kids. It doesn't matter what race you are. It's just we were bringing to light some things that have happened. So you know, there's more than just that. That's the thing.
What do you say to the people who say, "What all lives matter"?
Listen, some people like just don't know any better, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But then some people say that to antagonize, and then some people just say that just to be dicks, and then some say it because they're just like,
or are they really misunderstanding the whole thing?
There's people that misunderstand.
We're not saying only Black lives matter.
Yeah. And it just like, but then again, like all lives can't matter until Black lives matter. So
exactly.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's just what I say. Or when somebody's like blue lives, I'm like
those are megalodonic.
I'm like the fact that you're saying blue lives, you're automatically trying to negate what I'm saying, which is just that means I lose all respect for you as a person whenever you just try and negate that. I don't care what you say.
All right, so I got a couple more questions to ask you, man, because unfortunately we have to bring this podcast to an end. Yes. I feel like we can go on forever. I really do, man. You have so much information inside of you. It was like truly, truly a blessing to speak with you, man.
For the first podcast without a rapper, he still had that spirit of musician in him.
Man, he came over with
that's what
he got. This fool, he knows about. It was bringing some hip hop history facts on this motherfucker.
Yeah. He was breaking it down.
I saw on your Facebook one of your favorite artists that inspires you a lot is Pharrell.
Yeah, Pharrell Williams has always been an inspiration for me ever since as a kid to a teen to an adult. Like I've gelled with Pharrell because he doesn't fit the mold of somebody black, and then that's kind of what I've always been. I did things because I thought it was cool. I didn't do things like just because everybody else was doing it, and so. He was his own mold, and I just always drew inspiration from him.
I love his vibes, man. He's a skater, man. Yeah. His hip hop, and he's a badass producer.
Exactly.
Like he's an all out cool artist.
Exactly.
That's dope. So what's your favorite type of music? Is hip hop?
My favorite type, man. It's I just love music. Like I look because I can relate to so much. Shout out to my mother who she just played everything, like all types of music. Like the first rap song I ever learned was Tennessee by Arrested Development. That was a phenomenal song. You know, take me to another place. Yeah. That's a dope song. That's literally the first rap song I've known. But like she's always immersed me in so much music from rock to just all genres. Like yes, I like the Gorillas. Yes,
they're dope as hell, bro.
Yes. My mom. Just shout out to my mom for making me love music.
My favorite music would have to be instrumentals.
Just like listen to the beats.
Yeah, actually. Now, big question. The question I didn't get to ask you earlier because I've been waiting for this answer. I know this is off topic. But who would win out of a fight between Superman and Goku?
All right, so I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan, anime. Like I love Japanese animation over American animation. But if we're talking like just pure like facts, like Goku's strength, like we're fighting on Earth, Goku's strength is finite. And then like Superman, as long as that sun is out, I don't care if the sun is down or up, like he has that power. So like I said, like it's Like,
What
I mean,
about his red beam that makes him weak? That red beam is one of his weaknesses.
just kryptonite.
He would have threw that away.
Yeah.
He want to kill him with his own move.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this. I still say Superman.
I respect
Because the
Man.
sun. But here's what's up. It's because the sun. Because, I mean, Goku he can't even hold Super Saiyan 3 long because it burns stamina.
Game on this. I'd have to go with Goku because Superman would have never made it to Earth.
Oh, because he would have tried.
Because the Saiyans would have took over their planet. Because they couldn't do shit on their planet, and that's what Saiyans did. The difference is Saiyans didn't need to be on Earth or a sun to be powerful. They were powerful on any planet they were on.
It's just because the sun, like, his power is infinite. Like,
But
the
hands,
Earth
take the killing out. They just fight. He's like, fuck you, Naruto.
It's getting late. All right. 3, 2, 1. And we're back. So, I wanted to ask you a question real quick before we go. If there was a racist person sitting right here, right in front of you, he's a white nationalist, a KKK, whatever, what would you tell him?
I'd just be like,
motherfucker.
I'd say why. I'd ask why, and then I would just feed off of that, because then I can just feed off of that, because like I said, it was taught into him, or he learned it, so I just want to know why, and then I would just start throwing facts out, and at the end of the day, you're not going to win an argument against a racist, because they're going to have to change themselves. They're not going to change themselves. They got to change themselves for themselves, not for you. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't let those suckers, like, get under my skin as much. If you hit people with logic, they'll understand. You're like, I'm not that boy that you thought I was, so.
So when's the next protest, bro?
There's protests
Or
all
any
the
kind
time.
of event?
In terms for the In Defense of Black Lives, the one that I'm a part of,
Yeah, that's what I meant.
there won't be a protest, but we are going to have several community organizations. We're gonna have one the 25th of June, and that's gonna be a forum, and then later on in July.
Is there a social media for?
Yes. So if you go In Defense of Black Lives on Facebook, and then you'll see us it'll be a black and white flyer on there.
So go look for that.
Yes.
We really appreciate you for being on the show, man.
Yeah, no problem. No, I wish we could get into more. Like, hopefully I'm on here more so I can.
Yeah,
get into more.
man. You're definitely welcome back.
Yes, thank you.
Whenever you want, man. I got a couple lined up, but let's do it again, man. Let's do a part 2, man.
Smokes.
I would really appreciate that, man.
Yes.
Thank you for giving us your wisdom.
Thank you
for sharing with us, man.
It was an honor.
I really appreciate it.
Yes.
Everybody who subscribed to the channel, I just want to tell you that I love you from the bottom of my heart. Brother Jake appreciates it. Everybody here appreciates it, man. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, man. Leave a comment in the comment section and tell us what you thought about this. We like to hear from you. To everybody who's been sharing my shit on Facebook, to everybody who's been showing love, I love you from the bottom of my heart, man. Thank you so much.
Have a good day and a better tomorrow type.
Thank you for tuning in to SmokesWorld. Thank you for chilling with your boy Smokes. We out.
Peace.
Midget strippers.